It kind of helped them advance. I mean, do you think this was a conspiracy?
Gotta go with Jacob Butter. Gotta go
No,
lefty.
we're talking about the players. That's tournament champion into the podcast.
There he is, right there.
Oh, he doesn't even know how to watch. Go to youtube.com and search Down Lane Podcast. Hang on. Can you hear us now? Check the mic 1, 2. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Good job, Kyle.
Welcome to Down Lane Podcast on the road. This is our first road trip, isn't it? Well, our first podcast road trip. What's up, Jack Papow? Let's see here. We are in our hotel room at the Masters trip. And we thought we'd give you guys a little bit of update. What's up, Pizza Wings? He's on his car ride home.
Pizza Wings.
On his way home from Vegas. Ooh, I hope you won some money. Nice.
It was a work trip.
Who cares if it was from work? You can still hit the tables. So yeah, we've had 2 days of qualifying for the Masters here in beautiful Allen Park, Michigan. Thunderbolt Lanes, which is amazing. It's a pretty cool place, I'd have to say.
It's pretty big.
Yeah, 90 lanes, 3 different bays. What's up, Dan? How are you? Anthony is I don't know if he's sick, dying, or whatever, but he's got a cough. Something's going on over here.
I've had it all week.
But yeah, so there's 3 different bays. There's the arena, there's the main 50-lane center, and then there's a
Cosmic Bowling.
Yeah, Cosmic Bowling Center. That's another.
The arena is a nightclub.
Yeah, it's sick. It used to be in the original days. It used to be a real arena. There was only 4 lanes, and stadium seating. They took all the stadium seating out, added a bunch of lanes, and now there's like you said, dance floor. There's club.
It's like a club.
Club.
Seating.
Yeah, up top. Lights and stuff. And, dude, there's this humongous LED screen down at the end of the lanes. The
check-in time.
They show videos and stuff if you're there for the nightclub scene.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
There you go. You got it out.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure where you were going with that.
I was just giving people the verbal visual, but no, the tournament is being held in the main 50-lane center. And even though it's really big and there's a lot of lanes, it's still, with all of the people there watching, it's still...
I mean, the concourse is fairly big. It's just they have seating there. They have bleachers.
You got bleacher seating, you've got your concourse seating, and people stacked to the rim, there to watch people like us.
Nobody's there. They're watching all the pros.
Watching their favorite players, of course.
Then along the way, man, that guy's not doing very good.
But yeah, no, it's a pretty cool experience. So yeah, we thought we'd give you guys a little breakdown about how things are going. Anthony's playing with the change on the table.
trying to gather my thoughts.
Oh, penny for your thoughts.
That's what we're gonna call it.
So we have had 2 days. First day was on the burn. So A squad went on the fresh oil pattern, and we got their sloppy seconds.
Which I thought was quite easier, except for the parashot on.
Yeah, you might have thought it was easier, but I scored better today. So why don't we go over that a little bit? So the oil pattern was a lot different than, I should actually bring that up, was a lot different than
past years.
Patterns have been.
It's not even close to the same thing. It's much different.
Yeah, the years past have been basically in the realm of 40 feet. And still pretty flat, still in the ballpark of 1.5 or 1.7 to 1. And this year, it's still the same ratio. However, they decided to go with 46 feet.
And no oil outside of 4. Well, for you.
Very, both of us on 2 have a limited amount of oil. And then as they go in, we'll pull it up here in a second. But the oil on the outside boards is very limited. So we'll show you that here in a second once I get that up. But yeah, why don't you talk about your day through the burn squad on day 1?
It was great until it wasn't. I started off with like a clean 2-something game, and then I shot like 250, 280 to get to 150.
It's pretty darn good.
Yeah, it was good. And then I ran into a pair that hooked. Quite a bit more. I guess Svensson started there with 360 grit, so I probably should have tried something a little bit different, or tried to kind of go around a little more, but I tried to ball change and ended up shooting 146. So that bumped me down to about minus 100, and then the last game I think I struck twice and left. The rest were 7 pins, but after a 146 game, I'm just trying to kind of keep it close. So I probably could have hit it a little bit harder and tricked it a little bit more, and I probably could have struck more, but at the same time, maybe I wouldn't have, and shot another 150, 160 and put myself further back. So that was just kind of the day 1 thing. And then when I wanted to get on top of the gutter where all the friction was, my ball hooked way too much. So I kind of have to go around it a little bit or keep it straight in line right around 4. Where's my oil line? 4? Yeah, and if I hit 4, it goes dead straight. So I got to get it out there pretty good. So I tried to drill a ball yesterday, and it did not go as planned. So
Anthony wasn't as important as he thought he was.
No, I was definitely don't think I was important, but all the player reps were charting, and I didn't know there was like an hour time limit to get stuff on the truck, which we found out. So I ended up just laying my own ball out, throwing it over there, and the guy said, "Yeah, you're good." And I was like, "Oh, are you sure?" And he's like, "Yeah." And then they were like, "No, dude, no, you're not good." So I ended up talking to Mike Wolf. He was cool about it. He's like, don't worry about it. He's like, we'll go get you something after this. And I said, okay. So then I wasn't able to get it drilled for today, but we ended up going to a speed, and I have to go fix it up for tomorrow. Hopefully it gets me on top of the gutter a little bit more, which is where I kind of need to be.
Yeah. So Joey, you pointed out, Joey D says they are using ice and a lane surface, which is the Brunswick Pro Lane, which we did not mention. But yeah, Joey D says they're using ice. A lane surface that is slick as well, causing it to play even longer. That is quite true. Ice is a really slick oil compared to, basically a lot of people use fire or ice. Fire is less slick. Ice is very slick. The lanes in the main center where we're bowling are like 15 or 18 years old or something like that. So they have more friction. Those that are going to make it to match play or the later match play, I forget exactly how it's going to work, but I think it's basically the ones that make it to TV in the arena center. Those ones are a year old, so the pattern is going to play even faster on that surface. It's going to I don't know if it's going to change it a whole bunch, but it's going to be a lot different, I think. There was a lot of guys today on Fresh, and yesterday on Fresh that we were watching, that were using Pearl, and I couldn't believe it. I mean, these are the big guys that, have a lot more revs, but, I'm using a lot of sanded to slow my ball down. And they're starting with Pearl, or at least shiny stuff. And I don't know that they'll be able to do that on the TV patterns or TV lanes. But yeah, the lane surface, the Brunswick Pro lane is very slick. Ice is very slick, so it's definitely a combination that you need a ball that'll slow down. So yeah, as far as the burn day yesterday, that was tough for me. I was like minus 60-ish. I will say, however, practice has paid off for the last. Anybody that questions practice, I will tell you, incorrect. Because I had made of my makeable, well, actually of all of my spares, I think I made roughly 90% of my spares, including splits and everything. And of makeable spares, I think I missed 2, maybe 3 makeable spares out of 10 games so far, and I've left a lot of spares. So I'll start off with a positive note, but that also means that I'm not shooting a lot of 200 games because I was minus 60. I started off with like a 2-teen yesterday. I think we both
started off with the same number.
Yeah, we had like 216, 217. And then I just couldn't get away from the 180 games. I couldn't get the ball. I could get it to the pocket. I just couldn't strike all day. I don't really know how to explain it. I think what I've talked to a lot of guys, they were saying, we're so used to seeing 40 feet and looking back in the old patterns, 40 feet, 40 feet, 38 feet, 38 feet, 40 feet, 41 feet. We're all bringing equipment for 40 feet and 28 mils or 30 mils or whatever. And then they throw 46 feet at you and a whole different
I have one ball
oil build. And not to make excuses, but I don't have access to a PBA truck that I could maybe drill up something that can get the ball to roll a little different than I need to. But it is what it is. Yeah, I don't know that I had the equipment that I needed for that burn squad.
I've had one ball.
You've been using the one ball.
I've been using one ball the whole time.
Except for the archetype that you switched to briefly.
Brutal Collision.
Oh, I'm sorry. Brutal Collision.
Yeah, that was the only game, 146, when I had nothing. I should have just threw missiles at that pin. But I didn't do that. I tried to play around it. I probably should have went to something a little bit weaker, but in my mind at that time, I was not thinking about switching. I was 150 over.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'll stay in something that's similar, but just a little bit cleaner. And it turned out to be the wrong move. But it is what it is. I mean, I did get a chance to drill a ball. We'll see how it comes out. I might not like the feel of it. I've never thrown anything else from somebody who's drilled it besides my dad.
And that was how many years ago?
Yeah, so we'll see. We'll see what happens. Devlin, haven't seen anybody throw urethane. Urethane is out of play.
It's out of play. I think it has to do with the length of the pattern and the volume in the middle.
I don't know if it's the volume in the middle, but the reason that I can't throw it is because, well, I would assume most people is because they dried out the outside boards. So you have to play the outside boards. So you've got to play like 4 to the gutter for the righties. And they're so dry that the urethane wants to pick up as early as possible. So it automatically comes offline, and then it hits the oil that is 46 feet long, and then it kind of like
bleeds off.
It just kind of stops hooking.
Yeah.
So it's really hard to even fathom throwing urethane right now. I will say mine did look okay in practice, but
it doesn't last.
It's not gonna be.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be something that I can for sure score with. So I've only thrown a Brunswick mindset all week. I mean, I've got some other. I'm wheeling around 6. I don't know why. Because I'm just kind of sticking with this ball.
just getting your exercise in. You're just
Yeah, I mean, I do have a. I mean, we did get the burn day one.
Yeah.
So they were hooking a little more. My ball hooked to my toes, and I was able to get the hook set. And today I wasn't really able to get the hook in the same spot. Every time I threw it to that spot, I went straight. So I've got to look at a little more on top of it. Even though I grinded out a -6 session, I could have been plus 50 easy. I gave away 2 shots a game of misfairs, regardless if they were splits or not. And I had 4 200s and 1 high 170, and they were like 2-0 games, nothing over 208. So you can't really climb back in it. But the good thing is the first day kind of. Sorry, Kyle. The good thing is, sorry. The good thing is the first day kind of kept me in it. Unfortunately, I had those 2 iffy games at the end, but I'm definitely not out of it. I can definitely make match play. Yeah, the mindsets. Yeah, I tried to drill a second one, and I think those are the ones that went on approval because they literally don't have any left.
Yeah, everybody is drilling.
Everybody's
mindset
drilling
out here.
It's unreal how good that ball is. Everybody's throwing one. So I tried to get a second one just to have it a little bit of a less surface so I could get on top of the gutter more. So we'll just kind of roll forward. And I got denied. Denied! Which is okay. I'm a nobody. I even told the guy, I was like, listen, I'm a nobody. If you're not going to drill it, it's not going to bother me.
Yeah.
I'll try to figure something out with the other balls I came with. But I do have a different strategy. I'm going to use a little bit less surface tomorrow on some other types of bowling balls. To try to get the ball down the lane a little further and to stay on top of the gutter. So I do have a speed. We'll see how that goes. I do have that mindset, which will be good. It's just I have to trust it. So I think if I get plus 100 tomorrow, I'm going to be really close to probably match play. Because that'll be 180 over roughly. It's going to be close.
Oh, you're saying 100 for tomorrow? Yeah.
Just for tomorrow. So I need to be about 220 tomorrow. Which obviously I can do. I was 150 over for the burn, and I thought my look was still as good. I just had to execute the game a little bit. So, and I didn't do it, and I'm being given away spares. So tomorrow we get a 6 o'clock shift. My body will be ready because I'm not used to bowling.
Yeah, 6:30 p.m. We have a long day of doing who knows what.
Yeah.
But yeah, as of right now, the cut line is 127.
To make match play.
With 6:30 squad still to go. And the cash line is 89.
Daniel McEwen got to 88.
Yep. So for me, today was a physically bad day. And I still led my pair with just plus 10 or 11. So yesterday I bowled really good physically. And scored bad. Today I was complete opposite. Bowled really bad, threw a lot of bad shots until the last game, but I scored like mediocrely, which means had I bowled at all well, I probably could have had a minimum of 50 to 100 over, and could have gotten myself at least near cashing line. But I was really just not bowling well. Hey, Rich, what's going on? Zach, would you say, Kyle, have you learned anything from beef stew? Not a lot. So I'm crossing with Stu Williams. So my good shot count from Stu, which means every time he tells me good shot, is up to 7.
You only got 1 today.
It was 6 yesterday and 1 today. That tells me today was ugly and yesterday was good. And I was accurate about that. So yeah. So let's see here. What's up, Del? Tomorrow I'm going to try to play the lanes, I think, a little bit differently because we get fresh again tomorrow. I'm going to maybe not stay away from the gutter, but try to be a little more comfortable on the lane, maybe not so close to the gutter. Maybe play the oil a little bit more, just so that I can free up my arm swing a little bit because I was just way too tight for 4 games straight. And then when the lane started to open up a little bit and I can move in and throw my 3D offset, I could just free up and I could just roll it. And I had a 220 game going until I just threw 2 errant shots. So anyway, yeah. What are you going to do tomorrow? Like I said, you're going to enjoy your speed, and hopefully that works.
Then I'll have 2 balls instead of 1. Yeah. You try the speed, try to get a little bit more on top of the gutter where I need to be. And then, if I had a 3D offset, it would have been close. I was debating bringing that one, and I was like, I just don't think I'm going to need it. Because on 40 feet, I didn't think it was going to be thought it was going to overlap. And we're on 46 feet.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. But I'll throw the speed, and we'll see what happens. It's going to get going and get forward, but it's going to be a little bit cleaner, they said. So hopefully I can get right on top of it. And if that doesn't work, I think I'm going to try my NV Tour.
Yeah, I was crossing with another guy, Alex George. He mashed him with that thing today. It looked really good for him.
Yeah, it is. It's kind of rolly and controlly, so
rolly and controlly.
It's not bad, and it's a weaker core and cover, so it's hopefully going to get down the lane a little bit. But I'm going to take it up to scale probably tomorrow before we bowl, maybe like 2,000, and maybe leave my speed at about 1,000 because I'm using quite a bit of surface on my mindset.
Yeah.
Pavement, whatever that is.
Rolling it down the driveway.
I'm rolling it down I'm going to drag it behind me before we get there. I heard the gashes help you gain traction.
So yeah, I just wanted to talk about the experience a little bit. So we don't have, we have a fair amount of big time players on our squad. It is interesting to see how the whole, the professional level works, I guess. Like, so obviously we're a couple of amateur ham and eggers, right? So we're there on our own trying to just make it work, which is fine. That's how it works. But they literally, all of the pros have their ball reps walking up and down the lanes.
They don't really help though.
Yes and no.
Because I haven't really seen a lot of talk unless it's
maybe asked for.
No, yes, that's the word. I was going to say unless it's like interacted for.
Right.
They just it seems like they chart more. And like they'll go down to somebody who's hot, and then if they're struggling, they're like, hey, what's going on? Like the guy did on our pair today. Not for me. For this other kid, Kai, or I think his name's Kai. He's like 300 over.
Yeah.
And he had a rough game. But he was bowling really good. They kind of helped him out a little bit. So it's not as much as you would think. They're not really on top of the pros.
Right.
I guess it would be different in a PBA event because it's only the PBA guys. But still, I don't think they're sitting on top of them, babysitting them. I still think that the other guys get their own stuff.
Yeah, I don't think they're babysitting them so much, but
No, I'm not.
They still have.
I'm not saying they're babysitting. I'm saying they don't do that. Like
no, I know. I'm saying that. That's not what I'm saying that it is. I'm just saying that I think that it's still more of an advantage. Like, hey, maybe try this ball, or what ball do you want me to get drilled for you tomorrow?
It's kind of what happened.
Yeah.
Because I was like, hey, I tried to do this. Oh, well, you can't do that. And I was like, yeah, I'm sorry. And they're like, well, we'll drill something else instead. What are you looking for? And then they just talked it out. And then they were like, all right, meet me on the truck and we will figure something out. And then they were like, here. And they laid it out and just, is it here? And I was like,
yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, thank you. What's the layout? Oh, you're doing I'll figure it all out later.
Yeah.
But they just kind of know what they're looking for because they've seen it. They've seen ball reaction, so.
I wonder if Dell has a good point here. He's saying with it being the Masters, maybe there should be no ball reps. Like, what if? I do wonder when there's like the U.S. Open or the Masters, where there's a whole bunch of, as Kevin Williams puts it, fillers, a bunch of amateurs there that don't have access to the ball reps. Maybe there's a rule for no coaching or no ball representation.
Yeah, but that's pretty hard to do.
Why?
Because the kid I'm bowling with who's 300 over, his dad's helping him. So
yep.
You're going to tell him you can't talk to the...
Yes.
Okay.
No coaching. Nobody allowed beyond this point.
It doesn't work either because I've seen players sitting down in the concourse.
Sure, I understand, but
You know what I mean?
well, that's a whole other issue. Is there's no marshals or whatever you want to call them. No, um,
Enforcers,
yeah,
like,
sure.
ushers, like telling you, hey, you can't be here.
And yeah, there's no what's the word I'm looking for? People that are in charge.
Officers.
Sure.
If you can't think of the word,
Any other word that I'm looking for? But officials. Thank you. Yeah, there are no officials that that are there up and down. Like basically, you go to the OCs, for example, and there's officials like every other pair basically watching the tournament, or at least for you to go to. And there's none of that there. There's a couple throughout the whole center, but
yeah, I mean, it is a little bit different. I thought it was going to be a little bit more, like, to get into the paddock isn't as crazy as I thought it was going to be. You can just kind of walk in.
Yeah, which I think are changing up today because we got
you got an email,
yeah,
and then I
so
got like
did you
an hour later.
Stop it.
Which is fine, but it is a little bit different because I'm surprised that it's as like lenient. That is all. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Dell, I haven't mastered anything, so I'm out here just amateuring it up.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a little bit different. I mean, the check-in was a little bit weird because we didn't check in till the first day. I thought we would have checked in on practice day, which we didn't do. So we practiced for half an hour, and then we checked in the day before competition. I guess it's because
the day of competition.
Yeah, the practice isn't mandatory,
right?
But you would still think that they might like do like a check-in to see like who's here. Hey, here's the rules. Here's our courtesy. Because I don't know if everybody's done the courtesy before.
Right.
It seems as if most people have, and that's not a big deal to me because
we don't have a lot of problems with it. But
like our pairs are good.
But if you do jump somebody, man, those guys out there get so pissed off about it.
Some guys do. I mean, whatever. So like Sterner, one time I jumped Sterner, and then we both looked at each other and we're like, "What the heck?" And then I was like, "I'm not up," and he's like, "Well, I'm not up," and I'm like, "I'll go then."
Yeah.
So some guys don't really care that much because they're zoned in. Some guys do kind of expect that routine, and that's the other thing that I think is kind of like hard is they don't have. Yeah, if you're from New York, you know 2-lane, but it's PBA style, so it's gotta wait. You could wait like 3 lanes left and 4 lanes right or whatever it is.
Yeah, pair each way.
It's a pair each way, so it's a little different if they haven't done that before. So that's the only other thing is I don't really care for that kind of style because like sometimes I'll get up there and like, crap, did I let that guy go or it doesn't matter. I'm already up here now. You know what I mean? But it seems like the people next to us are pretty good about it, so it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, for the last 2 days, there's somebody to my right, and I'm watching a guy go up on the approach on my left-hand pair, and the person to my right is staring at me, and I'm like, that guy's going. It's not my turn yet.
If it gets out of flow, it becomes hard to get back into flow, unless you like just wait.
Right.
But so like when we move, sometimes we have that issue because we had to wait so long for some guys today. The only thing that I do like about the courtesy is 98% of the time everybody's done right around the same time. Yeah. So you don't really have to wait too long.
Yeah, there were some slow and some faster pairs, but yeah, it does happen.
We're pretty quick. I mean, I'm quick as it is. I'm up there, no matter what. My name's up there. I'm up.
Yeah.
I'm getting ready. Like
I just get up and go.
I'm not gonna sit there and wait. But yeah, we'll see what happens tomorrow. I got an outside chance. We got a chance to cash with a decent set, and we've got a really good chance to make match play with a excellent set. And I don't think it's too far out of reach. I just got to execute a little better. So we'll see. You never know. You never say never.
Never say never.
That's what I say. Never say never. But we'll see what happens.
I'll just keep capitalizing on my spare shooting. Spares.
I might ask you for
some lessons.
No. Just your right hand to shoot my spares because me and my left hand are we're at a disagreement. We're throwing quite a few strikes, like legitimately quite a few strikes.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty sure I threw the back 8 for 204 game 1. They went open, spare, open, open, off the sheet.
Yeah.
I had 710 on that one, which was a good shot. If I had 710 on that, it could have been a different story. It could have been 230, and then I'm plus 20. But anyways, threw a lot of strikes the back half of the first 2 games, and then I would strike in the beginning, and then I would 5 count twice in the end, which cost me like 30 pins. So I did make the 5 count twice in 10th frame, though.
Wow.
Back-to-back games.
Yeah.
2 shoot 200.
One of those was a PBA washout, right?
Both of them were the same thing.
Oh, right.
Well, I actually did it back-to-back on the same lane. I said, okay, Anthony. I think it was the 4th game. I just missed right on this pair. It's not going to hook. Don't miss right. Just throw it to the freaking gutter. I don't care where it goes. If it goes in, who cares? And I threw it straight up the lane. And I said, oh, Jesus, that's got to go. It didn't go anywhere. It went dead straight.
Laughed in your face.
Yeah, and then I think I made it, and like you gave me like a tip of the cap. And I was like, not now, Kyle, because I just had 220, 230 out. Or I think it was 220 out, and I just threw a 5 count. And I threw like a double or triple, 5 count strike, 5 count spare strike. Stop spare shooting like Joe. It's not that scary. Like my 9s are good. As soon as I leave a 247, just pray. Because we're not sure. I've chopped that about 7 times in 2 days. Joe just scares me every time he gets up there. Joe knows. I don't even watch anymore. I just close my eyes. And that's basically what I'm doing right now. So.
Oh, my goodness.
We'll see what happens. We're going to go back to the place, watch the last squad start the fresh. I'm going to get my balls ready. Or at least my ball. I got to put the in, and I got to put my grips in it. And once we do that, I'll be ready to rock and roll.
And that's the only other thing I'll say, too, is with the bigger guys I did over here. It does sound like maybe they, well, I heard the Bull TV guys say something like, this is like a pro-am for them. There's a lot of, there's because there's so many amateurs, they're just kind of stuck bowling a pro-am. And then I did hear a couple of people say, all these guys are using surface up the outside.
They can't get the hook.
Yeah. Well, sorry. I don't throw it that good, but it is what it is. I'm going to do what I have to do to make it strike, even though I'm not striking that much.
You're trying to strike. It's not like you're all over the map, though. I mean,
right.
That's the funny thing, though, is that the pros are throwing shiny. Like, maybe if we saw them play on it by themselves in their 64-man field, they would
attack it differently.
They would attack it differently because a lot of them are using shiny in the beginning. Or pearl. Or just, we'll say shiny, because stuff that's shined. And then after a while, it seems like they move in with it, and I'm just like over here saying I can't even get the ball to hook. So, yeah, that's about our update, right? We didn't miss anything.
I don't think so. Let's see here. Terry Runyon, pretty soon. Bill O'Neill is going to start telling people he bowled with the Butcher.
Terry, listen. Me and Billy crossed in the Glens Falls. He's bowled with the Butcher.
We know.
I made him. I hurt his brain so bad he left his car door open the whole rest of the day. So I requested not to bowl with him this time. I felt bad. It was my fault.
He had a tough start yesterday. He was like minus 30 or something, or minus 10 or 20 or 30, and then he shoots 260 plus 30. I mean, he's unreal, man.
They're definitely hittable. You just have to execute it, and especially on the left. I mean, everyone's like, "Oh, if you're a lefty, you still gotta get all the hits. I mean, You're not just gonna get all the time." But Bill's bowling pretty good. I know.
Belmonte is obviously absolutely crushing them. He
can just throw it to the gutter.
Yeah, he can. He just is able to torque it, like you said, send it to the right and let it scream back. 387 over. Not sure who this Russ gentleman is. Russ Obiat.
He had a big
Sioux Falls. 308 over. Chris Vise up top.
Dio Bernard.
What happened to Butters? He was up there.
He didn't bowl yet.
Oh, that's right. He's on C squad, so he has yet to.
He's A squad, but he's bowling late.
Or I'm sorry, he's on A squad, but he's bowling the third shift today. Yes, I keep saying that. And Shoemaker's bowling really good too. He's got a bowl this afternoon as well. And yeah,
I think they're going to be pretty tricky for those guys.
We'll see.
I think tomorrow will be tricky too because they got the high rev rate. The high rev rate squad. They're going to follow them tomorrow because I believe if we, what we perceive as high rev rate is squad C is. We didn't really see squad A because we weren't there that early. But squad C seemed to be there's a lot of two-handers, a lot of high rev rate guys. So they'll be bowling tomorrow early, and then the A squad guys will go on the burn, and that could be a challenge. But definitely the fresh to the burn is a lot different. And talking to my dad, he's like, "Oh, the fresh looks hard, or the scores are all lower." I was like, "Yeah, the fresh is hard."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if you don't have the right ball or something close to the right part of the lane, you can go to 150 really quick.
Yep.
Really fast. So shooting 190 out here, even though it might not be a stellar score on the scoreboard, it's definitely not easy. I don't think you can fall apart really fast on this. So.
Yep. All right. So tomorrow we have our final day of qualifying. Hopefully
6:30 p.m.
That's right.
Eastern Standard Time.
We have
Pizza
a
wings.
long day of doing nothing.
Yeah, check out by 11 if you know anybody who needs help moving, doing anything. Don't call us because we're not going to help. We're just going to go to the Blind Alley.
What are you talking about? We
I
don't
don't
check
know.
out till Thursday.
Oh, we don't?
Right.
Oh, yeah, tomorrow's Wednesday.
Get with the program. All right, we
check us tomorrow on Thursday, but when I make it, we're going to check back in.
That's right.
Bing.
There you go.
Let's go.
Listen, I can still shoot 200 tomorrow.
No, you could shoot 300 every game that's out there.
No, I meant 200 over.
I meant 300 every game.
Oh, okay.
You could go 500 over. You never know. Never say never.
Never say never. All right, so wish us luck. We will be bowling tomorrow, and we will give you guys an update some other time, but not tomorrow or today. All right, thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time. Later.
Hey, your phone? I just called Kyle. No, it's my phone.